Hello, everybody. Yeah, don't adjust your television sets. Welcome to the Villa View. You are in the right place. Dan Bardell and Dolan are taking a well-earned break, and while Mammy and Daddy are away, the kids are allowed to look after the house. So myself and Ty Bracy are here. Yeah, the inmates are running the asylum today. So yeah. So as I said, don't adjust your TV. Everything is going swimmingly. And Ty, what a fantastic, I suppose, way to overthrow this show and to take the chair and take the throne with a win against near neighbours Wolves and for Dean Smith's 500 game. Didn't look like it was going to come at any stage really, but like just delighted. No matter when it comes, and it was a win today that we badly needed.
Absolutely, mate. I think we did well. First half, I think we were closed down really well by Wolves. We wasn't clinical enough in the final third. Defensively, I thought we were great. Got away with murder with that Fabio Silva hitting the post. But yeah, Emi Martinez. Let's join the Emi Martinez Appreciation Society today, mate. What a keeper. He's had an absolute blinder. Matty Target as well. I think that's the best game I think I've seen him had in a Villa shirt, mate. What are your thoughts on the game, mate?
Absolutely. There was a lot of demons exercise there for Matty Target, and I want to bring him up first because last year he got absolutely rinsed down that left wing. Adama Traore took him to the cleaners, and today he was every bit the match for Traore. I know that they did attack a lot down that wing, and Podence went out and tried to double up on Target even down that wing as well, but he was more than capable of looking after it. The match itself, I wouldn't be putting it on any postcards as a an advertisement for the game or anything like that. But as I say, win is a win. We're back up in the horse again with regards to our trudge up the league to try and get back to where we rightfully belong. And it kind of ends that bit of a I know that we had the win against Arsenal in the middle, but it ends that kind of a losing streak that we were on of 4 and 5. And no matter how it comes, as I say, as long as it comes, it comes. And we got a bit lucky, I suppose, really, with it wasn't lucky because it was a penalty, but for once VAR went our way in injury time. Especially, I suppose, after the Bertrand Traore potential penalty about 15 minutes beforehand, I didn't think we were going to get that slice of luck. It was one of those kind of frenzied kind of games with regards to, when I say frenzied, I mean there was a lot of tough tackling, there was a lot of kind of silly tackling in it, and there was a lot of frees, but I'm just, as I said, I'm delighted that we got that penalty. But did you think it was going to come at any stage? Like, were you thinking about what rule they were going to enact if the VAR was going to enact to take away the penalty when the penalty was given?
Well, when I seen us go to 10 men, mate, that's where the last season Villa nerves started coming in. You know, last season I got nervous for most games. I don't know what it was, but I was just nervous for every game. And when we went down to 10 men, I thought, here we go. You know, Mike Dean was card happy today. For us to be without Trez and to be without Barkley and take 3 points at the Molineux, mate, honestly, I'm over the moon. You know, it started the weekend right for everybody, you know, in difficult times. And I think it's we've got 3 fixtures coming up that are very, very, very winnable. And then we've got, I think, 4 fixtures after that, which are quite tough. You know, so if we can take, I think we've got Burnley on Thursday, West Brom on Sunday. You know, the Burnley game's going to be tough being without Dougie and Matty Cash, but over the moon, mate. Some unreal performances today defensively that have took a few doubts out of my head, definitely.
Absolutely. Shall we bring in a guest, Ty?
Yeah, let's do it, mate.
Excellent. Instead of being introduced, I get to introduce a guest for once in the show, which is fantastic. So, Adam, we're going to have Adam Wright, who's going to be our first guest today. His Twitter handle is @WrightI1, and he's got that fantastic Villa shirt on. One of my favorites. Definitely one of my favorite Villa shirts. Adam, how are you doing today, and what did you make of that game?
Feeling fantastic, Neil. Thank you. 3 points at the Molineux. Happy days. They beat us quite easy in both matches last season. So for us to actually go there and win after they easily beat us twice last season really shows to me how far we've come in a very short space of time. So yeah, really pleased with the performance. I think probably a draw was probably a fair result, if I'm being honest. But when you look back at our results against Brighton and West Ham, when I thought we deserved more, I'm more than happy to take 3 points when we probably only really deserved one. It always evens itself out, doesn't it? So yeah, just really pleased with the lads. The work rate was superb from 1 to 11. So yeah, what a great result, and like Ty just said, a great way to kick off the weekend. And now we can enjoy our weekends. Are always more enjoyable with 3 points in the bag, aren't they? So all good, mate, all good.
Excellent. What were your thoughts on the team selection, I suppose, just before the game? Obviously, we saw a couple of changes. People have been clamoring for changes. I think we did need changes for this game. But what were your thoughts on the initial team sheet when you saw it first?
Yeah, I was a bit surprised to see Trezeguet not make it, because there was no mention of that in Dean Smith's pre-match interview. So I was a bit surprised that he wasn't involved, but he's obviously injured because he wasn't even on the subs bench. So hopefully he can make a return next week. I was pleased to see Jacob Ramsey get his first start as well. It's always good to mix it up a bit, and Wolves possibly weren't expecting that as well. And then the rest of the team probably picks its health, doesn't it, at the moment. I have to say, after Traore ripped us apart last season, I was a bit worried, a bit like what Ty was saying about Matty Target, but I thought he did really well. And really, when you think about Traore and his pace and how he hurts teams, I can only think of once really where I thought, oh, here we go, he's off here. Really, he only hurt us once, and I think that was in about the 80th minute. So when you look back, I think that's like amazing, and we'd obviously worked on doubling up on him and not allowing him any space to run into. So the tactics, they obviously worked, didn't they? So hats off to Dino for that.
And Ty, with regards to Jacob Ramsey coming in, did you see much from him today? Was there anything that kind of, I suppose, really stood out that would make you say, yeah, he's definitely a fixture in there over Conor Hourihane? Or what's your thoughts on Jacob Ramsey altogether?
I mean, I think it was right of us to give him a start over Conor. I think it's important for his development, and to be fair, it takes a set of cojones to start him in a game like that. So fair play to him for stepping up in a derby game, and giving a great performance. I can't knock anything he did. As I said, I think we're definitely missing Barkley. But one thing I do want to touch upon with you, Neil, Anwar El Ghazi, he isn't someone who we've spoke about very often on the Villa View. So, Neil, what are your thoughts on him coming on so late on in the game? Confidence low, took an hammering
I was
on
nervous.
social media off Villains. I think everybody was a bit nervous with him stepping up, Neil. How were you feeling when you seen that ball on the spot and Al Ghazi standing there, mate?
Yeah, I'm doing that emoji. Do you know that emoji where they just kind of grit their teeth and they go like that? That's kind of the way I was. Shouldn't have been, because he absolutely banged it into the back of the net. There was no doubt about it once it left his foot. It was fantastic. It was a great penalty. You know, as you say, it takes you know, a set of stones to be able to do that, to step up to a penalty spot after coming on cold potentially into the game. He didn't have many touches, if any at all, even before the penalty. And you know, yeah, it would have been good for Ollie Watkins maybe to stand up to it and take it, but I don't care who takes it as long as it goes in. If we bring up our goalkeeper and take it, I really don't care as long as it goes in. But yeah, I won't say I've been very vocal about Anwar El Ghazi, but I've been a small little bit constructively critical, is what I'm going to say about him from time to time. So I'm just delighted, look, that he's the more he proves me wrong, the happier I will be. That's exactly it. It's like as the saying goes, when the facts change, I'll change my opinion. That's exactly the way I want to think about him as well.
Yeah.
And Adam, Traore, obviously we spoke about Ramsey with Ty there, but Traore started the game today. And did you see anything for him that might warrant maybe a more of a starting berth for him in his squad?
I actually thought he did really well. There was a couple of occasions I thought he possibly could have done better in terms of holding on to it and just giving away possession, just a little easy. But on the whole, I thought he played well, and I think he'll give Dean Smith now something to think about on Thursday night. But I also want to give a massive shout out to Martinez as well. I mean, he just reads the game so well, doesn't he? He's always there mopping up. He seems to anticipate where the ball's gonna land. You could hear him so clearly. Keepers all the time, really coming out, and he wants to claim it. It pulled off that great save in the second half, and I thought, like I was like that. I was just about to go heading hands, because for all the world it looked in, and he managed to get a big left hand out onto it. Great save. I mean, amazing. I mean, Arsenal, what were they thinking?
Should be their number one. Should be their number one.
Yeah, should be their number one. But I'm so thankful he's our number one. Really, really pleased. I thought all the pack four were superb. The work rate, heading everything that needed heading. Be interesting to see who Dean Smith picks at right back now on Thursday. Whether he goes with Al, Mo, or Reddy. What's your thoughts on that one?
It's going to be interesting. Against Burnley, if you want to go more like for like, you're going to bring in Freddie. But Freddie has obviously, like, the colours have been nailed to the mast there with Dean Smith. Freddie is number 3 choice. Maybe as well, you know, the fact that they're like centre half covers, thin on the ground, having both of them in and around the squad is going to be a good thing. I think maybe he might start Freddie and have Elmo or have Elmo on the bench, as the fact that Elmo has in cup games covered centre half as well. So I think maybe that's the way I would go. But then again, I'm not on a manager's salary. So
Adam, thank you for joining us today, mate. I really appreciate it. Thanks for coming on.
3 points.
Adam, 3 points, mate. Up the Villa, mate. I'm sure Dan and Dolan will have you back on here soon, mate. Thanks for joining us, bud.
Good stuff, man. Good to talk to you.
Nice one, Ty. Thanks, Neil.
Before we bring on our new guest, just to let you know that this post-match pint is in association with Purity Ale. If you go on their website, you can get 10% off your Purity Ale order using code #VillaView. Dan Bardell will be saying that very frequently in his views on here, and he's now also dyed his hair the same colour as mine after spending the last 2 months ripping me for bleaching mine blonde. So,
yeah. That's yeah. I don't know. I think you've mentioned that all right somewhere along the line. Yeah. That Dan has been slagging your hair. Yeah, maybe once or twice. I think you mentioned it.
B-Tech bracing, Neil. That's what it is. It's a B-Tech bracing now.
Well,
I think our next guest is ready to bring on a good friend of mine and a frequent guest on the Villa View. It's Andy K2 Villa. Andy, how you feeling, mate? Oh,
yeah.
I love that, mate.
Winners get to drink pints. Winners get to drink pints. That's what I like to see.
It's not just beer; it's Guinness in honour of our new host.
That's it. Absolutely. Yeah, Irish, the pride of Ireland. How are you doing, Andy?
Yeah, good. I mean, that's I didn't enjoy that game at all. I have to say,
it was rough.
Yeah, it was a hard watch, and it was attritional, wasn't it? And I don't know. It's another sign. I think last season we don't win that game. That ball, bounces in off the post and goes in, doesn't it? And from Silva, it's that picture came up then.
Yeah, Neil Cutler celebrating the win. It's good to see. Is it me or does he get taller every game? Neil Cutler, he's a giant.
He is massive, giant. Yeah,
he's big.
And even when he stands behind Dean Smith, he's still huge. Even perspective doesn't shrink him down any bit. He's massive.
Yeah, he's huge.
Andy, what were your thoughts on the back four today defensively? How do you think we were?
Yeah, pretty good. I think what I like about them is they're always looking for that forward momentum, aren't they? But they're not afraid if they need to go back and just give themselves a bit more space and time. They're happy to go back sort of 3 Martinez and out the other side, which I think is sensible, particularly away from home. You need to make sure you've got control of the ball for large parts of the game. And I mean, I'm a huge fan of Tyrone Mings, and I've got Conser on my away shirt this year. So it's a great partnership. It looks really good, and it looks like one of those that is going to last 2 or 3 years, hopefully, or maybe more.
And you spoke about we've spoke a lot, I suppose, really about the defensive stuff, and obviously Martinez. I'm going to bring up a small elephant in the room, and I don't want to dampen down the celebrations either.
Here we go.
Attacking, and this isn't normally me, but attacking wise going forward, did we kind of, for a lot of this game, did we look like we were out of ideas other than take it to the byline, low cross, or let Jack come in at the diagonal on the box? Was it something where we were out of ideas, or maybe were we just very afraid of being caught in the counter that we didn't want to pile people forward and had to be slow on our build-up?
I think there were times, weren't there, where we kind of took the foot off the brake a little bit and did kind of venture forward, and certainly in the second half, Matt Cash got up the line a bit more and got a couple of good crosses in, which was good to see. I don't know really. I do think without Barkley, I think Ramsey did really well today, but I think without Barkley, you're just missing that little bit of presence in that. Yeah, absolutely. That extra danger man in the final third, and McGinn, who perhaps has provided that in the past in the Championship, isn't really playing that sort of game anymore. I thought he was a lot better today than he has been in the last 2 or 3 games, but he doesn't. He's not that kind of sort of floaty kind of player, if you know what I mean, who picks up spaces and kind of goes into areas like Barkley does. But not everyone can play like Ross Barkley, can they? But I thought they filled in far better today in that midfield with Ramsey than they did perhaps in the last game with Connor. Unfortunately, I think Ramsey, he just carries the ball really well. He uses the ball really well. He's sensible. He doesn't he doesn't do anything daft. I just think he looks like a real Premier League player already for me. Don't know what you guys think of Ramsey.
Yeah, Ramsey looks really good. As I say, I think the reason behind bringing him in is a real horses for courses piece today. Dean Smith has spoken about, that he has two definitive tactics and setups and kind of base formations. One is playing with a number 10 and one is playing with two number 8s with John McGinn and another inside there. And Ross Barkley can thread the needle between those two positions very, very well. I don't think Connor can just at the moment, especially in this formation. So I think when you've got Connor in the team, you're I won't say limited, but I think it's more likely that you're going to play 2 8s and 2 8s and a 6 as opposed to a 6 8 10. And with Ramsey, I think it was something that they wanted to try to press up higher, try and get on. I know Neves didn't start, but I think that maybe that could have been in their mindset. Try and press on him, start letting the likes of himself, Dendoncker and Moutinho spray the ball around, because there isn't massive pace in the centre of midfield there. But if you give them the ball, they're very technical. They'll play the ball around you all day inside there. So I thought he did okay. I thought Ramsey did okay. It was nothing really spectacular. Give away a lot of frees.
Yeah.
He gave away a ton of frees, but as I say, he didn't look phased, and he was coming up against some really, really tough international midfielders there as well. And for a young kid coming on his debut, couldn't have asked for any more. Well, could have asked for a goal, but that was being greedy.
I think that's a good thing, though, isn't it, Neil? If you think you've got a young lad like that coming in, he's not afraid to put his foot in a bit and mix it with those international players like Moutinho. He sees himself as being part of that, but he wasn't happy to be on the fringes. He wanted to be involved in the game and to help the midfield out. And I was really encouraged by his performance. I'd certainly leave him in for Thursday. We've got to sort of reshuffle the midfield a bit, haven't we, with Dougie being out now? But no, I feel like a little bit like we've got away with one here today. And although we certainly probably deserved a draw, I wouldn't say I think Wolves will be disappointed to have lost that game. And
definitely.
But then, if you think back to the West Ham game, we dominated that for 88 minutes, didn't we? And it was
swings and roundabouts.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was nice to actually get the last minute penalty today that we should have got. So, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's justice, but it's certainly a little bit towards that after the last couple of games, I think.
Definitely agree. And like, it does take, I suppose, the hard edge off those last two games. Obviously, we felt aggrieved. You mentioned there with the penalties that we got, that we missed, that we didn't get in the last two games. And those two games, we most likely would have only drawn those two games if decisions went our way. But we've lost both of those, and we've won this game today in a game that we probably shouldn't have got anything out of, maximum really a point. So as you say, and I think Adam said it earlier on as well, things do even themselves out. We potentially could have had 3 points from our last three games if we drawn all three of them, but we've won. So it's a case, and our search for a draw goes on. Our search for a draw still goes on.
I'm happy not to draw drawings. I'd have taken a draw today, though. I think I did feel a little bit like it wasn't going to be our day at some points, and I mean, like you said to Adam before, without Martinez, I think we're out of sight, aren't we, today? And but hung in there, and cool head from El Ghazi, which hasn't always been a trait that he's shown on occasions. But I enjoyed what the commentator said about El Ghazi as well, that he is a bit of a Villa hero already, scoring that goal, and he's not always been everyone's favourite, has he? But he scored that goal at Wembley. He had a really good run into that promotion season, and we've got to cut these guys a bit of slack because they're all ready to come in, and it just shown today that obviously Smith and the coaching staff have got the guys ready to come in and make a difference if they needed. So really pleasing to see that, and that'll do him the world of good.
With that in mind, you mentioned there about players coming in and out of the team, and that Smith showing faith in players. I suppose he doesn't really have any choice at the moment, because we do have a thin squad, and the Christmas shopping list, I'm sure, is becoming is becoming finalised, should I say, between Johan Lange and Dean Smith now. Is it a concern going into Christmas? Like we've just seen now that we're not going to have two players. Ty mentioned it earlier, not going to have two players for Burnley.
Yeah.
Is it a concern about how thin our squad is? Should we be as expectant in the next few games, Andy?
I mean, I don't really feel that the squad is that thin. I think we look at it and we think it is, but I think we've got a lot of players who are capable of coming in and doing a job. I think like guys like Nakamba, Courtney Hawes, Engels, people like that, maybe when they were all thrown in at once together last season, it was a bit too much for them. But coming into a settled winning first 11 is actually probably a little bit easier for guys like that to come in and make their mark, really. So I wouldn't be too concerned about players like that coming in. I heard you talking about Elmo and Gilbert, and I mean, I think Elmo will probably get the nod, won't he? You know, but these are guys that are quite capable of coming in and putting in a shift for you when you need them. So I don't think the squad is as weak as all that. It's very weighted, where obviously a lot of the game changing talent, as you might suggest, is kind of in the team already, isn't it? So you lose a big player and you're struggling. But I'm quite happy with the squad at the minute. I do think we'll probably we may well look at striker, I guess. I don't know what you guys think about that in January. That's the one area, because if Watkins got a suspension or an injury, then we're struggling there, because he's transformed that forward line, hasn't he?
Well, we've got. I think Wesley's not far back from a restart. I'd be keen. I mean, I know Wesley took a lot of slack last year, but you know the service in the service this season versus last season is definitely completely different. I'm very keen to see Wesley play up top with some service. I think Traoré is the backup striker behind Wesley, assuming that Wesley's fit. Personally, I think we probably need one more in centre mid, and I wouldn't say no to another centre back or another winger, if I'm honest. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on that one. Neil, what do you reckon?
I'd be blown away if we didn't bring in a left back competition. And this is no hate on Neil Taylor. It's just about getting more, like as you say, we've got two very, very kind of threadbare areas in the team, left back and striker, as you mentioned. And the big thing about Wesley for me is he can't be registered until the 1st of January again, until the registration window opens. But I can't wait to see him back. I can't wait to see him play up top with Watkins, maybe pull Watkins out into the right hand side. But for me, I think that Dean Smith, if he isn't looking at left back cover, I think he should be, because yes, Neil Taylor is an international quality defender, but so that we don't negate the good chemistry that the kind of team has with our attacking fullbacks. You know, you don't want to lose that kind of threat or that kind of a kind of potency down the left hand side if Neil Taylor has to come into the team, because he is more of a stopper or a defender.
I was going to say, actually, I'm quite keen for us to sign Rico Henry. It's been something that's floated around for probably about 3 years.
Yeah, you and me both.
Yeah, I think I saw him a bit when he was a young lad at Walsall, and he's got all the attributes to be a real top sort of modern day fullback. And of course he can also play a little bit further forward if you need him to. But it's an obvious link because of the Dean Smith connection. But I'd be amazed if they're not looking at him.
Yeah. Say it nice to Santa Claus there. He might bring it to you for Christmas. Yeah, a bit of a late Christmas present. I've got yeah.
Neil, you could make some serious dough over Christmas as like an Irish Santa.
Who says I'm not, Ty? Who says I'm not? I did trim up my beard though. My beard was a lot longer up until yesterday. And look, everybody is talking about Dan Bardell's new haircut. Nobody complimented on my beautiful new haircut and beard trim. You know, so I don't know why I make the effort.
That quiff's looking very suave, Neil. I reckon the quiff's that good. I'm almost close to calling you Quiff Richard. Like, it's up there, mate. That's an A grade quiff.
I might stay out of the haircut debate.
Sorry, Andy.
It's the ship sailed a long time ago. I'm afraid I've given up, and I was going to actually have a haircut today. I don't know if I need one.
Blimey. Can we get a before and after on that? Because I'm out of ideas here, mate. Thanks for joining us today, mate. Really appreciate you coming on. I'm sure.
Cheers, guys.
Dan and Dolan will get you back on real soon, mate. Up the Villa.
Yeah, nice to talk to you up the Villa.
Good stuff, Andy. It's great to talk to you as well. Yeah, so that's two great guys there, and enjoy talking to both of them. And making a win makes it even better. A win that John McGinn can celebrate his new contract. I'm sure he's got an extra few pound in the bank after it. And Dean Smith's
look at that,
500k,
eighth in the
position,
league, with
2 games in hand on some teams, and well, we will have 2 games in hand after teams play today. So I'm liking the look of that. I really, really am, and it's I suppose, look, as Dolan always says, sometimes we need to look over our shoulder to make sure that the pack aren't catching us. And when we see that the team in 17th position is on 7 points and we're on 18 points, that still gives me as much joy as seeing us on 18 points and the team in 4th in 21, knowing that we're only 1 win away from them. So keep the chasing pack as far away from us as possible. It is getting actually very condensed. If you look at it there, like there's only 1 point, or there's only 4 points separating like 14th and ourselves there in 8th.
Yeah.
So we did
We're
jump.
in a Manchester sandwich by the looks of it, aren't we?
Yeah.
With a meeting, that's Arnie. But yeah, maybe 2 games in hand. I'm so happy, especially in hard times at the minute, as I said earlier, just to be able to now spend a weekend where we haven't got to talk about anything negative to do with football, and for once, people talking good about Anwar El Ghazi stepping up. I know he's not a fan favourite really when we're in the Premier League, but I have so much respect for him stepping up and putting that in the net, mate. So on to a good weekend, Neil.
Absolutely, on to a good weekend is right. As I said, thanks everybody for thanks to Dan, I suppose, really, and to Chris for allowing us to take over the show here and try. Yeah, they're brave. Yeah, they're brave or silly. I'm not sure which one it is, but thanks to the 2 guys. Before we go as well, the guys have mugs on sale. You guys you'll have seen them. I can't quite remember how many of the mugs, but I want to plug the Sid Cowan's mug with profits of that mug going to the relevant charity that the guys have chosen there as well. So if anybody is looking for something, it's on their website there. You can see it at the very top of the screen, thevillaview.tv. You'll be able to find the mugs there. And if you are looking to do something nice for a charity over Christmas, you'll get a mug out of it, and you'll also be able to help out by buying the Sid Cowan's mug as well. So that'd be great. It's a fantastic charity to help along the way as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think Dan and Dolan will be back on Thursday with the post-match point in association with Purity Ale after the Burnley game. Unsure on who the guests are for that show yet. As Neil said, a really big thanks to Dan and Dolan for putting faith in me and Neil. This isn't our first shindig together, Neil.
No.
Neil, I've really enjoyed talking to you today, mate, and thanks to everybody who's tuned in today. Dan and Dolan will be back on Thursday. We'll see you then. Up the Villa.
Up the Villa.